everyone, this is a video to help support you with the first English task in Home Learning Pack 5, and this week we're going to be focusing on poetry. Well, let's start with what is poetry. Poetry is a type of writing which tries to get a reader to imagine something vividly or to feel something in their body intensely. Now that's done by choosing and arranging language in interesting ways based on what it means and also how it sounds when you read it. Usually, poems are written in lines which make up a verse, with each line beginning on a new physical line. For example, in this poem by Remy Graves, you can see that each new line is starting on a new physical line. The sort of paragraph that those lines make are called a verse. Today, we're going to focus on rhythm within poetry, in particular in two forms of poem known as haikus and tankas. Starting off with rhythm then, what is it? Well, rhythm is the beat of a poem when somebody reads it out loud, similar to the beat of a drum in a song. It makes it sound quite interesting when you listen to it. So how do we make rhythm? Well, rhythm is made out of the syllables in each poem line. Okay then, but what's a syllable? A syllable is a unit of sound that usually contains one vowel. Let's have a look at what I actually mean by that. We're going to have a go at spotting some syllables in different words. Remember, a syllable is a unit of sound that usually contains one vowel. An easy way to spot syllables in your word is by putting your hand underneath your chin. Every time your chin taps your hand, you have made a syllable. Let's start here with the word cat. How many times does my chin tap my hand when I say the word cat? One time. So cat has one syllable. Let's look at another example. This time, how many syllables will there be in light? Have a guess. And then let's see. My chin tapped my hand just once. So light has one syllable. Notice how light has only one vowel? These two things usually coincide. Let's do another. This time, how many syllables in the word rubber? Let's have a look. 2. My chin tapped my hand 2 times. And what about in the word lollipop? Have a guess? And now let's take a look. Lollipop. My chin tapped my hand 3 times. Lol, li, pop. Lollipop has 3 syllables. Why don't you now have a go at putting your hand underneath your chin and spotting how many syllables in your name? For example, Miss Bailey has 3 syllables. Miss Bailey. Now you have an understanding of what syllables are, we can use them to create rhythm in our poetry. In particular, a haiku. What is a haiku? A haiku is a poem with a specific rhythm that came from Japan. The first line has 5 syllables, the second line has 7 syllables, and the final line has 5 syllables. It always uses this rhythm and is always just 3 lines long. Usually, a haiku is written about nature. Here's an example. I'll read it to you and then I'll read it to you again while clapping the syllables. The warm, soft breeze blew, rays of gold ran to the earth as summer began. Let's read it again with those syllables being clapped. The warm, soft breeze blew. Rays of gold ran to the earth as summer began. It has 5 syllables in the first line, 7 syllables in the second line, and 5 syllables in the final line. If that's what a haiku is, then what's a tanka? Because we mentioned that at the beginning of the video too. A tanka is a longer version of a haiku, written with 5 lines. It still has 5 syllables in the first line, 7 syllables in the second line, and 5 syllables in the third line, but it has 2 extra lines at the end. The fourth line has 7 syllables, and the final line also has 7 syllables. Historically, tankas were written by men for women to show how much they loved them. Here's an example below. The warm, soft breeze blew. Rays of gold ran to the earth as summer began. Her long hair danced in the haze, more beautiful than Venus. Let's read it again while clapping the syllables. The warm, soft breeze blew. Rays of gold ran to the earth. As summer began, her long hair danced in the haze, more beautiful than Venus. It goes 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables, 7 syllables, and finally 7 syllables. So what are you doing today? Today, I would like you to make one or more haikus about nature. It could be the weather, what you see outside your window, a season like summer, winter, spring, a place you like mountains or rivers, or something else. But it must follow that haiku rhythm. 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables. For a challenge, can you extend your haikus into tankas? I can't wait to see your results. Send them to me on Class Dojo. Good luck!